you. Along with the wind and rain that we experienced this week, El Nino also bringing monster waves. KTLA 5's Mark Mester live in Redondo Beach with more on a high surf advisory that is in effect for many Southern California beaches this morning. But it is gorgeous behind you, Mark.
You know, it's very gorgeous behind me indeed, but we've got some very, very dangerous conditions. In fact, you know, guys, the tide just peaked. It was right around 7:45. We've been keeping our eyes on this water here because not only are the waves big, but the water is pushing right into the parking lot in here. In fact, it was just a short time ago that we were shooting some video to bring you guys. Watch what happened right at the parking lot here. Whoa, 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 whoa. Situations like that happening all morning long. And tell you what, let's come back out here live and show you the conditions. We just saw one surfer catching a wave, but these waves are something else. What we're doing is we're talking about a high surf advisory. The waves yesterday were so big that there was a high surf warning, but now it was degraded, or I should say downgraded to a high surf advisory. Waves anywhere from 6 to 10 feet all day. It expires at about 10 o'clock tonight. What we're going to do right now is we're going to move our camera over to the left direction, right where the jetty is, right where that seawall is. We saw someone walking up on that jetty. It looked very dangerous, but there was good reason as to why he was doing it, at least according to him. Have a listen to what that surfer told us. We saw you up there on the jetty. Tell us about the conditions, and for folks who are wondering, why is it that you're up on that jetty?
Because if you walk out on the lower part, you probably get washed off right now. Definitely, if you're not a good surfer, don't go out.
Probably the best advice we could give anyone all day long. Frank and Jess, we've been talking about a lot of hazards. There are some in the water. Of course, the rip currents are very, very strong. But the other thing we're also looking at is some of the beach erosion. And we also are getting some incredible images right now of what the break wall looks like. We're at the side of the jetty, but my colleague Mark Kono is live in Sky 5 right now. We can show the waves crashing into that seawall. Mark, good morning.
Mark, good morning. Yeah, here we go. We're just off the Redondo Beach area here, looking at King Harbor from the outside in, and you can see where that break wall is actually taking a lot of punishment. Now, we may be on the backside of this high surf advisory, but still, there are some very heavy swells combined with the peak of the high tide just a few minutes ago here. So every few minutes, we'll see the set waves roll in, and they will literally just crash right over the break wall there. In fact, as we move over to the other side of the break wall, we can actually see where some of that open seawater has mixed in with some of that water in the harbor. Just a very clear indication of how much water is coming over the wall and into the harbor here. So guys, Mark Mester be the first to tell you this is only for experts and advanced surfers only.
All right, Mark Kono live in Sky 5. Thanks so much. Let's give you one more live shot right now. We could show you the conditions right now. A few surfers are braving these conditions. And Frank and Jess, there's one other thing I want to tell you right now. We've been talking a lot about beach erosion. What we're going to do, we're going to move this camera over to the right direction, right where the Chart House restaurant is. I was speaking to someone earlier, and if you look down, you can see the distance between that edge and where it meets the sand. They say that so much water has moved in here over the past few days, you could actually stand and see where that restaurant was. You were almost at eye level with the restaurant. That's how much sand there was, and you can see right now how much has moved out. So we're dealing with beach erosion as the water crashes into the shores right now. We're going to keep our eyes on this situation all morning long. As we mentioned, that high surf advisory does not expire until 10 o'clock tonight. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
Mester, we appreciate a look at that from the sky. And
absolutely. Our first El Nino storm, and man, we're really seeing it. Mark has seen it from the mountains to the sea, all over the place.
He certainly has. Thank
Good job,
you,
Mark.
Mark.